Hi guys. Today we are solving this question that is designed underground system. That is today's Leetcode challenge. So I hope you already understood the question. We have to, based on the passengers travel time from one station to another station, based on the data, we are gonna calculate the average time taken to travel from that station to the given station. So the given system, like the given code, consists of the underground system class and a check-in method, checkout method, get average time. So that the check-in adds the passenger, like for example, it is 27 Leeton 10, 45 Waterloo 15. So it adds these passengers, okay, like it keeps that record with them, and checkout will also keep the record of checkout list, and get average time will somehow calculate that average time. So this question seems to be very easy, but the managing of this data and how to manipulate this data to get that average time, when do we calculate the difference between the check-in and the checkout time, so this all part is difficult. So given this underground system class, right? So apart from this underground system, they we also considered a separate class for passenger and route. So passenger, that the reason is because here when we are calculating the average time from one station to another station, we are taking the help of the input, that ID of the passenger, and based on the ID of the passenger we are able to calculate the average time. So in order to do that, like to make the process much easier, so we have declared a separate class for passenger. And the passenger, what all properties we have for the passenger? So that is check-in time, checkout time, check-in station, checkout station, right? So so it has another this constructor that actually just assigns this check-in time, check-in station, and checkout time, checkout station. So that is very simple class where we just keep track of these attributes: in time, out time, the station where the passenger gets in, and the station where the passenger gets out. And the next class is about the route, and this class actually helps us to calculate the given problem, that is the average time. So the average time is what? That is between the start station and the end station. So we are putting the start station and the end station to this route class. Like these are the important properties that this route class must have. And also, like we have other attributes like time spent and total trips. So that is to calculate the average time, like the time spent from that station to this station, that time spent will track that value. And total trips is nothing but if a passenger has traveled, different passengers have traveled between two stations, between the same stations, that is same start station and the same end station, then we need to get the average of the time, right? So for that reason we have taken here this one. And yeah, so it just like this is the route constructor that just assigns the start station and the end station, and get average will nothing but it will calculate the average, that is time spent by total trips. And add trip function will actually add one trip. So what does the trip includes? Trip includes the time. So end time minus start time, we are updating the time spent value and also the total trips, so that these values will be useful when we are calculating the average. And now coming to this main function, which makes use of the functions that we have defined in the route class and also the passenger class. So here firstly we have considered two hash maps. So one hash map is to keep track of the passenger's record. So if a particular passenger has a check-in data and checkout data, then only we'll be able to calculate the average time, right? So in order for that, we have for the hash map, the key value is the integer, that is the passenger ID, and this is nothing but the type of passenger class. So and next hash map is to get the average time from the route class. So string and route. So what is associated with the route? Like route means what? Route between some different stations. So and in the input also they are giving two stations, and then we have to calculate the average time. So we have taken the two stations as a string, as a key value for this hash map, and taking the route class for the hash map. And in this underground system, we are just initializing the hash maps, that is current passenger route, and whenever this class is called, then it gets initialized, right? So we have included our initializations in this constructor. And then coming to this check-in method, in this check-in method we have id, station name, int t. Okay, so in this they are providing us these attributes, these arguments. So we have to make use of these arguments and initialize our passenger class. So that is what we have done. We are including the t and the station name, that is like time and the station name. Okay, check-in. And for checkout also we have done the similar thing. For checkout, when we are taking the checkout when we are trying to include the checkout data, then the passenger must have been already present in the data, then only he'll be able to check out, right? So that is the reason what we are doing is, through the id we are getting that particular passenger from the hash map and updating the checkout data. And then we are storing like now the thing is like check-in station and checkout station. This passenger has traveled from this station to that station, so we are joining these two stations with the help of comma and storing it in some variable. And if this route hash map already contains my start and station, okay, already contains my start and station, then the person have already, the passenger has already traveled some other places and is already present in my passenger route data. So what will I do? I'll directly get the data, that is start and station. Okay, I'm just initializing this hash map with the previous data I have. If the passenger is not present in my hash map, he is a new passenger, then it means that I need to include all these, right? I need to include the start and station, end station, and also I need to calculate the time spent and total trips. So for that reason I initialized the hash map with the check-in station and checkout station with the help of p1 object, which corresponds to that passenger. In order to calculate the total spend time or the average time, I need to send this check-in time and checkout time to the add trip function, that is for the route, this one, and I'm calculating the time spent and total trips. I'm putting the start and station. Start and station is nothing but this one. So I'm including that whole hash map into my route, that we already have here, hash map. Okay, start and station comma r. This r is of route class and this route is of hash map. And then what we are doing is we are removing that id. Now already we have calculated the data. Whenever already we have calculated the data, right? Now we did not require that passenger again, so that is the reason we have removed the id. And this function is nothing but we have the get average function in the root class. So we are making root.get of start station. With the help of this start station comma end station, I'm able to get that root class from the root hash map, and then I'm calculating the get average. So that is how the solution goes, guys. Hope you understood it, and if possible I'll try to include the reason behind including considering these hash maps or the attributes or separate classes later. Thank you.